So what if I was to tell you the difference between you becoming a very, very profitable trader and making this a full-time gig for you and blowing your accounts to absolutely nothing, which I know many, many people watching this video are consistently doing, had nothing to do with how smart you are. Yep, nothing to do with how smart you are. Now, along this trading journey, you are going to want to keep finding information after information, strategy after strategy, and you're looking for that holy grail. And you think it's going to be as how smart you are, how much knowledge I need. Now, in trading, it's absolutely the complete opposite. Now, you can have the best strategy in the world. I've said this many, many times and still fail. I had a call with a client, potential client or student a few weeks ago. I told you in the last video. And when it came to strategy, pinpoint, but kept failing trade after trade after trade. Now, also, you can have a mediocre idea and a mediocre strategy, yet make 10 times more than the individual who has got the pinpoint strategy. Now, why is that? Well, it's timing, my friends. It's all about timing. And I know you're probably going to sit there and think, well, that's obvious, isn't it? Timing, what time to get into the trade, when not to get into the trade. Of course, that's obvious, but why is it so important? And in this video today, I want to break down 3 scenarios, all right, that you will be aware of and you've probably gone through, which are based around timing, okay? So when I say that, you're going to say, well, I know what you're saying, Fran, that's pretty obvious. But what does it actually mean when it comes to day trading? What does timing actually mean when we speak about day trading? So let's break it down, all right? There's going to be some scenarios, and I want you to take this, and then it's going to start to look at trades and look at the market in a completely different manner. Get a pen and paper and just write down these very, very simple scenarios and what's going to work best for you. And you're going to know by the end of this video what's actually going to work best for you, all right? So we've got 3 individual traders. You've got me, you've got you, and maybe someone else in your trading group. And we're going to use you as the first person, okay, moving forward. So this is you. You have a great idea, you've executed it well, and you have bad timing. Now you're going to sit there and say, well, trading, no. Okay, I know what the scenario is going to be here, all right? So let's put it down into how we would think as individuals. First of all, we think that we've cracked the code. I know what you're going to say. You're going to sit there, imagine this, and this is what you think you're going to be able to crack the code. A bulletproof strategy you think that you've got along the way. You've back tested it, you've verified it, it's made you money in the past, etc., etc. And your friends think that that's it. You're going to be the next Wolf of Wall Street, and you're going to be flying, and you're going to bring everybody with you on this trading journey. You load your trade. Your friends think you're an absolute genius, and the market does nothing. How many times has that happened? It's happened to me when I'm live trading. The market does absolutely nothing when I'm doing a live stream. Now, maybe even reverses later on. Maybe it tries to go for the liquidity. But at the end of the day, you're sweating. You're absolutely sweating. And you say, no, it's fine. I've back tested this. Don't worry. I've seen it a million times. Now, your psychology and your attachment to that trade is going to keep you in that trade. Bang. What happens? Stop loss gets hit, and you're still sitting there and thinking, well, why could that actually happen? Now, it turns out that you had the right idea. How many times do you say to yourself, the direction was right, I just got it wrong at the wrong time, or the direction was right, my entry was just wrong? So the idea was right. The idea was absolutely spot on, but you took it at the worst possible time. This happens all the time. I'm just reading a quick email that I got from someone who had sent me their journal, and they said in that journal, I keep getting stopped out. What am I doing wrong? Now, if you're watching this video, which you probably are, timing absolutely is crucial when it comes to this. Now, what do we need to do when it comes to that? Well, first of all, we need to be thinking about the time that we're obviously taking the trade. Maybe there's liquidity, maybe there is not. But I'm going to break some really, really good key pointers down for you as we go on. But the one thing that you need to understand is that if that's happened in that scenario and this is you, you're just ahead of the curve. You're ahead of the curve, or maybe the curve's ahead of you. You just don't know at that time. It could be market conditions. It's probably liquidity isn't sitting there. The liquidity is just not sitting there, okay? And then what happens is have you ever heard the term right and poor, wrong and rich? Okay. And what these people are, they're right about everything. And it's happened to me when I was in crypto, when I told people to buy Solana at $8 and $9 and all those things, know all the knowledge. And then you end up falling and losing the bag and obviously absolutely being a brilliant broke trader. That's scenario one. Do not be that guy. Then you've got scenario two. Okay. Let's go over to scenario two. Now, in fact, I don't want to miss anything on scenario one. So what can you do? What can you do? How can we dig into this, right? And why does this happen? Well, there's one word that you need to understand, and that's going to be context. Context. Just because the setup worked back testing, it doesn't mean that it's going to work every single time in real time. There could be a stage of market conditions where the market has not behaved the same as before. The market cycles could change. Bullish, bearish, what's going on? Is Trump in office? What's going on with the interest rates? What's the CPI, the initial jobs claims? What's the GDP? What's happening with the yen? What's happening in Great Britain? Whatever it may be, what's happening in the Middle East, okay? These things do dictate, and that will change the cycle of the markets, which means your strategy and timings could be off. That could be the case, okay? You need to know what phase you are in before executing your trade. You need to know what phase you are in before executing your trade. Think of it like surfing, all right? There's many, many waves out there. You might have the perfect technique, but if you don't catch the right wave, it's just going to start and then it goes and your technique doesn't work. You need to wait for the right wave. And that's why it's very, very important to mark your levels, as I stress all the time, but it doesn't necessarily mean it's always going to reverse from those levels or continue from those levels. You need to have a look to see if there's liquidity. You need to wait to see the reaction of what type of spikes are within that zone. Now, when you're a reversal trader, it is hard to see what kind of cycle you are in relation to trends and things like that. But when you're a reversal trader, you're waiting for a lower term time frame to give you that confirmation. All right. So stop trading in isolation. So stop trading just because of that one thing that's happening maybe on the lower term time frame. This is very, very important. Don't isolate. Look for the bigger picture. Check higher term time frames for those levels. Understand the volume and the momentum at those levels. All right. Very, very, very important. And a great idea is nothing to do with the market. If it's not ready, it's not ready. Say to yourself, if it's not ready, it's not ready. Okay. So that's scenario one. Scenario two, by the way, is going to be, let me just have a sip of my matcha. It is matcha if you're going to ask in the comments. What's your favorite drink, by the way? Put it in the comments. Beautiful. Scenario two is going to be mediocre idea, you executed it well, and your timing was well. Mediocre idea, you executed it well, and your timing was well. Now, it doesn't take a genius to figure out that this one is going to be an awesome, if not the best, way to trade. All right. So now let's talk about me, for example. Do I get lucky when I'm trading? I've got a basic strategy. It's a very, very simple strategy, which actually becomes so simple, you get bored, and that's good. Okay. Maybe at times it's a little bit discretionary, can be a little bit sloppy, even though it's methodical, but things change because candle patterns change and maybe we don't get the wick down and things like that. Okay. But I'm not reinventing the wheel. I'm just keeping it very, very simple. The things that I've learned over the years, and I'm keeping it very, very simple. So my idea is just a basic mediocre idea, okay? But I enter when the market is about to explode in my favor, or the market looks like it's going to reverse in my favor. And then we can catch the momentum. Now, I only look for a small portion of that move, but a lot of our trades, if you stay in them throughout the session and then you go into the next session, they will continue for 200-300 points sometimes, especially on the back end of the week. Now, to a lot of people, my community, everyone, it looks great. It looks like a genius kind of strategy. How can it be so simple? It looks so easy. But that's because of what I'm waiting for and the timing. Now, let's be honest. Some people think this genius, especially when I put in the community and this trade after trade after trade. But between me and you, I'm not no genius, am I? Of course not. Nobody can sit there and say this is always going to work, etc., etc. I just find the right time, which is great timing. I find the right time, and that's always not going to be right. Okay? It's always not going to be right. So the market will just continue in that direction, and it looks like you can just take money from the market like an ATM when you want. Now, we all know that's not the case. We all know that's not the case, all right? So it just makes me laugh because people think that is actually the case. But the key point here is it makes me more money than someone who knows more than me. I speak with people who come to me because they're struggling with trading and they know way more than me about the market. Way more than me. But it's painful at times for them to see, well, how comes I've got it right and they can't? And they're coming to me for that scenario to change. They're looking to come to me for the solution. And I give them the solution by keeping it simple and looking for great timing. So let me break it down a little bit further, okay? Because you're going to ask me questions. And how does this happen? Well, it's very, very simple. The key factors are I'm looking at momentum. I'm looking what's going on. Because I'm looking for a reversal. So I'm looking for a continuation to my level. And then I'm looking for a shift in the market to jump on the buyers or the sellers and trap the opposite side. So I'm looking at the momentum when I get to my level. Also, you've got to think about market sentiment. Am I going to be looking to take a trade near the news or the economic data or anything like that? I'm not looking to do that, but that is there. So I know what times of the day the news is going to come out. So if the news is going to come out at 1:30 p.m. UK time, I'm not really going to get into the market and try and look for a reversal because liquidity could be big moves. And then that brings me on to the third point, which is liquidity. You will hear me speak about liquidity time and time again. I want to see the market take liquidity and then show me some sort of reversal pattern. If there's no liquidity there, I can look at the depth of market. You can look at bookmap. If there's no liquidity sat there or big orders, we're probably not going to get the reversal that we want. And that's where you will get a range expansion. Okay. So this is why understanding the depth of market, maybe the order book, sometimes order flow, but that can be a little bit complicated. And just looking at volume, whether you get big wicks and spikes, is very, very important, especially if you're looking for reversal trading. Okay. So this will allow you to recognize shifts in momentum. Very, very important. So this is the guy that people say you get lucky, but you get lucky on purpose because of your timing. All right. Scenario number 3, great idea, executed poorly, great timing. That's very, very interesting. Great idea, executed poorly, but great timing. This is not the one, people. This is not the one. Okay. If this is you and you have a solid strategy, the market is moving in your favor, but you get it wrong. You keep getting this wrong. You keep getting this wrong. This is because you're probably hesitating on your entries. That's the reason for this. Your risk might be great, but then on flip times, you might be gambling like you're in Las Vegas. Okay. Now, remember, gambling in trading is not going to work out long term. You do not want to be the guy who keeps buying combines, keeps buying XFAs, and then they buy $2,000 XFAs to try and get $6,000, $7,000 out at the end of the month. That will not end well in the long run for the majority of people. For the majority of people, okay? And you're going to consistently get stopped out, and then guess what's going to happen? The trade is going to go in your favor without you. And how many times in your trading journey, for me as well, have you seen this? It is an absolute nightmare when that happens, okay? So if you've ever been that guy, you need to take a moment and you need to process the pain that you are going through at this moment in time. Process the pain that it keeps happening and just say to yourself that it's okay because we've all been there. We've all been there. And that's why videos like this, that's why my program, that's why mentors, that's why people will help you. And if you're in the mindset where you think if someone makes money, they don't teach people how to make money, your mindset is fixed. You need a growth mindset. If you think someone who trades well shouldn't teach other people, your mindset is in a fixed mindset. Get growth. Because if that was the case, we would never, ever, ever learn anything from anyone who's been there and done that. That is a fixed mindset. Please, please, please come out of that. I just want to say one thing quickly. I have people who are still interested in flexing in designer gear and all those types of things. And I spoke with them the other day, and this has kind of gone on a little bit tangent. And I said, my business mentor earned 400 grand last month and does not drive a car or does not have no fancy watch. So my point there is, try to concentrate on the process more than the profits or the price side of things, okay? Because take a moment, take a step back, concentrate on the process. You've all been there, and this will help you, okay? So we now know that execution is the key. Execution matters more than anything. We know that that is the case. And if that is the case, what do we then need to work on? Execution, because a good strategy without discipline is going to be absolutely nothing. A good strategy without discipline is going to be absolutely nothing. Even if you get the best timing, bad executions turn winning trades into painful losses. How many times have you got a very, very good timing, but then the bad execution has completely ruined you? All right. So how are we going to fix this? Number one, we're going to stick to a plan. If you tested it and it works, trust it. If you've tested it and it works, trust it. That's very, very important. Number two, stop hesitating. Stop hesitating. It's something that I've had to bring to my trading. The best traders execute like that. They see, they react, boom. They know exactly what they're doing. And then this is a problem that most people have, and it's taken me a long, long time, and I still have issues with this to this day, mastering risk management. You've got to master risk management. I still have the off day where I go crazy and don't manage my risk management, but I'm glad I'm at the stage where I can do it consistently and still make money out of the market. But there are times, but you must master risk management, okay? So why do I think that the timings of everything rules the market? Well, it's very, very simple, okay? If you had to choose between a great strategy or great timing, timing's going to win every single time. That's why you can have a very, very basic, mediocre strategy. Timing's going to win every single time. Because even a basic strategy, if it's timed right, you're going to be profitable. You're going to be profitable. But if you've got a great strategy and it's timed wrong, you're not going to be profitable. So think about it all the time. Timing, timing, timing. So before you then go now and say, Fran, what new monitor shall I get? What do I need to get? And you get a completely new monitor and you want to redo your office 20 times. Ask yourself this: are you early or are you late in your timing? All right. Is it actually syncing with the market? Because if it's not syncing with the market, you're just going to keep blowing account after account after account. If you do these things, you're going to start stacking profits. It's not about being intelligent. It's about having the right timing. Okay. So again, if you want to know more about these videos, if you want me to share more of these videos, then obviously hit the like, do all the subscribe stuff. But if you need help with these types of things, which many, many people do, then again, book a call with me. Let's get you on that track to getting your timing right alongside the knowledge that you already know. And if you don't know the knowledge, then that's exactly what I'm here for on the other side of this screen. So as always, God bless, and I'll see you all on the next one.